May 22nd, 2025. Welcome to Ciderhaus.
That's a very fine cider you're not drinking. Welcome into the Thursday edition of Ciderhaus. I am your host, Landon Tangwall, joined by local comedian, filmmaker, producer, all of the above.
None of that.
John Ward.
None of that is accurate. The world champion, John Ward. I speak of myself in the third person. This is an awesome studio you got here, Landon. Thanks for having me on Ciderhaus.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, John. And
you're extremely large, by the way.
You
guys don't know, I am 7'2".
That's how big I am.
Real.
All right. On Monday, we were out on the streets of Penn State asking college students what's the number one trait that they look for in a romantic partner. I think we got some pretty good answers. Let's roll the clips. Sister Jones, what is the number one trait you are looking for in a romantic partner?
The number one trait for me is good communication skills. If he can't communicate, we can't have a relationship, because you can't have a relationship if you don't communicate with someone. So,
have you dealt with that in the past, someone with bad communication skills?
yes, I have.
How did that end up?
Did not end up at all. Nothing happened. So that's
did the relationship it didn't even take off?
Didn't even take off. He couldn't talk.
Probably someone that like makes you a priority, wants them a big part of your life.
If you had someone that wasn't making you a priority and making you number one, would you be like pretty turned off by that?
Yeah, probably.
What have you dealt with someone that hasn't made you number one priority before?
Yes.
How long did that relationship last?
6 months.
What made you stay so long? Or was that were you like the whole time you were kind of skeptical, or?
I feel like things changed over time. So it was like more priority in the beginning and then not as much over time.
So sometimes it just kind of like fizzles out a little bit.
Number one thing I would say in a romantic partner is stability. That's what I think I look for.
Have you been in relationships where you haven't had stability in the past?
Yes.
Is it ruin it?
Yes.
All right, I think we had some pretty good answers there. Most people just want a good relationship with communication, love,
surprisingly
trust.
Wholesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wholesome. I don't believe all of them. I think they want money. I think they want people that they think are hot. And, every girl's going to say, as long as he's nice.
Well, let's give him some credit. Let's just not immediately be cynical.
All right, you're right. My fault.
Let's take him at face value.
All right. Well, for you, number one trait that you're looking for, John?
Ass.
Yeah. I mean, well, okay, for being honest, when you go to date someone, be in a relationship.
That's not true. I'm too old for that. But yeah, there's a the eyeball test?
The eyeball test.
When you go buy a used car and you kick the tires a little bit, what's this? How worn is this tread?
Exactly. And it's like, then if you get to know them, but the initial attraction is how do you look?
It definitely is. I don't know that I would say that that's a number one trait. Like maybe they're taking this question more maturely than I am right now. I don't know. But yeah, so there needs to be a spark of some kind, but there's a window there.
Although if you meet...
All right. For me, it's between like 100 pounds and maybe 250. And then beyond that, there's the spark. There's a little too much density in that wood to set it on fire. It can't be sparked. No, I'm kidding. But
no.
Yeah, but... Number one trait, though, I mean, I'm kind of with these kids and surprised, but kind of with them. Communication and trust. Those are maybe you can't separate those two issues because if you're communicating but you're lying all the time.
Well, okay. Let's go into red flags real quick and let's talk. I mean, the number one red flag for me is if you start out in a relationship and you off rip feel like I cannot fully trust them and I am if I want to check your phone in the back of my mind, it's an awful relationship.
That's like a catch-22 because yeah, so this happened to me once. I once dated this girl who I caught. She had like watched me and found my phone password and then hacked my phone. Fortunately, she didn't find any of my hidden folders. No, I wasn't doing anything wrong. But that was like kind of crazy. I was like, why'd you like you just asked me, I would have told you what my password was. But now like forever, what's your phone password? And guess what she said?
You're not having it.
You're not having it.
Exactly. And I think that's a lot of times when they want to check your phone password, that means that they're doing something
That's
shady.
The red flag. People that are constantly suspicious of their partner tend to be the ones that are up to no good. I believe that.
Acting.
Yeah. Producer Steve, studio manager Steve, jack of all trades, Steve agrees. I got Steve on my side already, first time on the show.
There we go. All right. John, something that's been popular in our realm of Gen Z, beige flags came out. We all know green flags, red flags. Beige flag came out. That is basically something that is not inherently bad or good, but just kind of something that's quirky and just a trait.
Oh, okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, something that someone does. Like I said, that isn't.
As a boomer, as a 74-year-old, I don't know your young gentleman's terms of art. But okay, so beige flag. I have a good one, actually. This has also happened to me. I was younger than you are now. I was like talking about like high school or college or something like that. Went on a date with a girl. Date went great. Afterwards, there's like kind of that awkward, like, do you kiss her? Like, what's happening after this? And without any prompting or me even getting a chance to make a move yet, she goes, I am not going to have sex with you because I like you so much. And man, that is like a 18 or 19-year-old or 20-year-old at the time went on this crazy mental roller coaster, because you walk away and like the way they say it with their tone of voice, I wasn't really listening to what she was saying. I was like checking her out. So it was like, oh, she's talking. That's how good for her. How nice for her. No, I'm kidding, man. But no, like, it feels kind of like, oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. And then you get a little further thinking when you're home that night and you're like, wait a minute, what did she mean by that? And then the end of that line of thinking is like, how many other dates you've gone on with guys you didn't like so much, and what happened there? What am I stepping into right now?
Yeah, you didn't like him, so you just went home and fucked him. How does that make me feel about myself? Yeah, you might build me up a little bit, but you're just giving it out for just any guy.
Well, and now that I'm almost, on the closer to 40 than I am to 20.
God, you're old.
I understand, I think, what she was trying to say, and I do think women are like that, and I don't know if you've had that experience, but they're smart enough to know, like, if they really like you, then they want you to think that they're classy.
Yeah, I do. I think most women want to uphold that, and if they are in their what do we call that stage of their life? Mainly, college girls are in where they just want to have fun.
Yeah.
If you're in, let's just call it what it is, a little bit of a hoe phase. Some girls, especially, Penn State,
the hoe phase.
The hoe phase. They'll just let it be known.
Homester.
Their
second homester.
Yeah. Well,
junior.
Yeah, some of them try to
honors college,
or they come to college with a boyfriend and or boyfriend or girlfriend.
I honestly think that's probably a mistake.
It's a huge mistake. Even if they're at the same college with you, I don't even know if that's even a good idea. Because if you're high school sweethearts, you probably really haven't dated anybody else. I
still don't know what I want out of life. So imagine, like, you just got to be really lucky to find the right person at 17 or earlier and stay with them your whole life.
It can get. I think it can get pretty wild, especially for those young women that are in relationships that get to college.
Did you have a high school girlfriend that you?
I did. High school sweetheart, 5 years. Quick story on that one. We'll go to I guess we'll transition here to negative story. I was basically a 5-star All-American football player recruit. Had a girlfriend of 5 years. We met sophomore year of high school. Came to Penn State, played football. Was going to go to the NFL. Head injuries. I have to retire. My girlfriend of 5 years leaves me. I broke up with her because
you've lived it.
I've lived it.
True story.
True story.
Holy cow!
I'm going through all of it. She, everybody's.
So you were
like
not going to the NFL anymore. Head injuries. I want to take care of.
Yeah.
We all know that.
She was obsessed with NFL wife,
and she was just like, I'm out.
Yeah. Technically, I had to break up with her, so I will say that.
Oh, she made you do that too.
The make you break up. They just like ghosted me. I'm going through the hardest time in my life, and it's just like, yeah, sorry, I can't make it. I'm gonna go like shop and hang out with my friends instead. And rough time. Lost my football career and girlfriend of 5 years in a 2-day span, John.
That's wild.
But it made me realize how thankful I was that I got rid of her out of my life. Dodged a big bullet, producer Steve. You're damn right, brother.
You dodged a train that was fired out of a gun.
I did, but just saying that to say, yeah, women...
died a mine cart that was meant for a gold mine.
Ooh, that's a good one. Someone else can deal with that mine cart, I guess. No, it's real, but I think... The crazy part was I don't think she was inherently like that, but I think over 5 years of me being like a big-time recruit...
Oh, that's interesting.
I started as like a freshman... And it was like, oh, he's going to the NFL. So in her mind, I just start seeing her. All she's watching it's called WAGs. It's NFL wife TikTok. Because all the little NFL wives, they want to do something, NBA wives, and they make their own TikToks. And their personality is basically, my husband is a professional athlete. And a lot of women watch that because it's lucrative and now they want that. And so it felt like almost she got wrapped up into that. And then that was no longer a thing. Everybody's telling me, I'm so sorry that you lost your career. And she had like no empathy for me. No, I guess that's sympathy. Is it sympathy?
Well, she was
didn't give a fuck really.
She was sorry for herself.
Sorry, yeah, she was sad for herself and tried to beg.
She didn't have time the energy to support you because she was going through a rough time.
Exactly, she was going through her own rough time. Damn right. She was like, "What? I'm not going to have millions of dollars." And now, enjoy your debt. Enjoy your debt, sweetheart. $200,000 at Penn State.
She just said, "Can't you get like 1 or 2 more concussions?"
Yeah, one
Come
or
on,
two.
like,
That-
that's 1 or 2 more.
That was the big thing. It was like, didn't she tried to get me to play football again? That was the funny part.
Oh, really? Like,
yeah.
she really
She
did
was like,
say-
no, like you need to get back. I remember her saying she was like, what about all the perks? I heard that. What about all the perks? You shitting me? What about me remembering my kid's name at 35 years old? God damn it. CTE.
She probably
Real.
figured she could meet another player by then.
There you go.
Like, he'll be in the locker room with like 20 other rich dudes. I'll figure it out by then.
Still hasn't happened for her, fortunately. So yeah, keep on keeping, sweetheart.
That's wild, though. You always hear these stories. You lived it, man.
Yeah, I lived the true Kanye West gold digger experience.
So how did your opinion of women change after that?
You see, it didn't change it too much. I just realized that Gen Z women, no offense, we're not sending any shots here, but I wasn't a big fan of Gen Z women. I needed something a little more sophisticated, and maybe not Gen Z, but just not 21-year-old.
Yeah, that's admirable. So you didn't immediately jump to the conclusion that all women were that way.
Exactly. No, I did not. That didn't shape the full opinion of just women in general. But I thought I want a little bit more of a serious woman that's really knows what she wants. I hate that phrase. I know what I want. Nah, that's a bad one. But truly, so that led me to my now girlfriend, and she is older. She is actually technically a millennial.
Ooh.
And does a lot of things I like. Emotionally mature is one of the biggest ones. We talk out any problems. Communication, as many of the people said. All of that.
You find yourself in agreement with some of those clips we watched.
I do. I do. I think I resonate. I think a lot of Gen Z is wanting that. I don't know. Maybe people are saying things and they're not actually reciprocating like what they're saying they want, and they're not doing it themselves. I don't know, because it seems like Gen Z is really struggling with love.
I feel for you guys. You're having been around you as a fellow YouTuber and stuff, but like it's bad out there, man. Everyone is very suspicious of each other and each other's intentions.
Yeah, no, the hookup culture,
Like especially from the dude. Yeah, it's like impossible to approach a girl without coming off like Harvey Weinstein.
it is.
Yeah.
I think girls are kind of afraid you're seeing.
You're like, hey, what's going on? She's like, I don't want to be in your movie. I don't want to sit on your couch.
Well, girls have, and
you're like, no, you dropped your wallet. And then they mace you and stab you in the spleen.
Or you come
I'm just assuming this is what happens when you go.
There's the notorious bigger friend. Let's just talk about it for a second. Where you go up to a girl and her bigger friend, or maybe friend that isn't as good looking, says, you're not talking to her. And it's like the switch up is when you kind of just messing with them, and you
bigger
go
friend.
You go to the bigger friend first, and you're like, hey, and they're like, because there's a real thing.
That's a tale as old as time.
Well, there's that, and then there's just the girls that also like to keep uglier or bigger friends around them to make themselves feel good. All of that's real.
They do. Yeah, you're right. They do that too. Well, that's where the old classic, we called them wingmen. Do you guys have the same?
Oh,
term?
absolutely. You got to take one for the team.
You got to have one of those buddies like me. It's like, hey, is she between 100 and 250? Put me in, coach.
235. John Ward's taking it down.
Yeah, I can still probably bench that. Maybe like 1 or 2 reps.
Oh, God.
You got to have me going in there and occupy their attention. We'll talk about I'll be like, what's your favorite peanuts? What's your favorite snacks? What's your favorite candy bar, girl? Come on over here. And then I'm like your offensive lineman.
There you go. Oh, that's a good way. I'm the running back clearing the hole for me. Literally.
Hitting on a girl is not unlike a football game. The guy and the girl are both quarterbacks, and then the guy has his wingman, that's his line, and then the girl has her bigger friend.
That's the defensive line.
That's the D line.
Yeah. I like how we got to a football analogy.
Maybe it's more like the O line, because you're kind of on defense as the one approaching. You're like attacking the quarterback.
The big
I guess
friend
that's
is
true.
like the goaltender. You just got to clear out the goaltender.
And then it's an easy
You
goal.
and your Euro references. This is America. We're talking about football.
Goddamn Europeans.
It's hockey, not soccer.
Football.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
No.
How about that? I just remembered this saying that we used to have our soccer friends, producer Steve, just because there's a goalie doesn't mean you can't score. Like some people think it's okay to hit on girlfriends that have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Where are you at on that?
Well, real quick. Yeah, let's talk about that. Have you heard the term micro cheating?
No, but I understand kind of, I think, what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the question.
Your generation's language cracks me up. Go ahead. All right.
So
what is it? What's
too much? Micro cheating is something as much as some girls say liking photos on Instagram, say even being at a bar and just even starting a conversation.
Flirting and stuff like
just
that, yeah.
Base level flirting. I think we can all agree when you take it to kissing or even certain words that you say of, whatever, I want to go home with you, all that stuff. Clearly cheating. But is that those subtle little conversations, the arm touch, the way the hug is.
It's about what the true intent behind it is, I think, in your partner. And there's definitely like, I just don't think you're going to have a happy relationship if you're micromanaging your partner and checking for, it's like we were talking about with the phones.
Well,
Like, I don't want to be checking my girlfriend's phone. I just want to be able to trust her that she's not doing crazy stuff. And if I feel like I need to check her phone, that's the sign for me that it's time to get out of the relationship.
Absolutely. And there's
so-
there's some relationships that, you know, the boyfriend or girlfriend does not allow their partner to follow anybody of the opposite sex on like Instagram or, you know, Twitter, whatever it is.
I wouldn't be that extreme, but I mean, I think there is a line. It's just sort of this, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Well, what do you think about having friends of the opposite sex? See, that's hard for me. That's hard for me. I think as a man,
like if your girlfriend went and hung out with another dude without you, you're saying?
yeah, that's
That would
that's
be
no good.
That gets weird.
I don't think the hangout is obviously
think
too far. But what about just texting? What if they're just like, oh, like she's like laughing and it's like, oh, are you texting? It's like, oh yeah, my buddy Steve, and it's like fucking Steve. Are you kidding me? Steve.
I don't know. My first question would be, is he gay?
No, he's not gay.
Because if he's gay, it's
And,
like, all right, well.
you know, they grew up together, and he's like my brother.
I would not. I'd prefer to have her not have a friend like that.
I agree. I think
I would admit it might be a little selfish, but what I'll also say is I think she would prefer that I not have an adult female friend around my own age who I did the same thing. Like any girl that would be like, oh, you're overprotective, would be like, okay, what if I have a female friend? They'd be like, no, I don't like that. So I think we all agree.
Here's my statement: you should only have friends of the opposite sex that are the friends of your partner.
Yeah.
That's it. You shouldn't have your own little friends that are girls if you're a guy. It doesn't turn out well. Every guy is unbelievably horny, and if that girl's attractive, you can't tell me if you give them the opportunity, they're going to take it. If your girlfriend has a guy friend and they're attractive, the girl, your girlfriend, they're attractive, and you do the little test and say, hey, just test them. Every single time they go for it, it's like, hey, would you want to hang out? And the guy friend's like, yes, please, please, anything. I'll come over right now. What did he do to you? Your boyfriend's awful.
Yeah, well, if he started talking like that, we'd have to throw some bows.
Ooh, all right.
Is that term still used?
Yeah. No, it's not. God damn it, John Ward is so old. Well, John, I think that about wraps it up for today. I think we covered just relationships in 2025 pretty well. It's not a good place to be.
I don't envy you guys' relationships in 2025.
Yeah, find someone good, stick with them, try to make it work, I guess, if you think they are that good. But God, good luck out there if you're single.
I think some good advice from these college kids in those clips we watched. It's the best you can do.
It's the best you can do, absolutely. Thanks for tuning into Ciderhaus Thursday edition. Until next time, peace.